Akwaba, welcome back. During the various episodes of Mwalimu Dropping the Knowledge, I have shared the insightful and searing work of a number of notable and important scholar activists, thinkers, and doers, including Drs. W.E.B. Du Bois, Kwame Nkrumah, Zora Neale Hurston, Martin Luther King Jr., Marcus Garvey, Malcolm X, Asa G. Hilliard, Paulu Kamaraka-Fago, and Kariama Welsh, among them. Other important scholars who extended the path of consciousness include Francis Cress Welsing, John Henry Clark, Chancellor Williams, Amos Wilson, Amilcar Cabral, Thomas Sankara, Stephen Biko. The list is extensive and also includes activists who are writers, artists, politicians, journalists, and musicians. This is just a literal snapshot. The scholar activists who are continuing to make critically important contributions to our liberation includes Dr. Masheri Githmugo, Malana Karanga, Catherine Bankole Medina, Haki Mahabudi, Jelani Cobb, Nicole Hannah-Jones, Ibram X. Kendi, Ta-Nehisi Coates, Heather McGee, Isabel Wilkerson, Claude Anderson, Lonnie Bunch, and a host of others. Again, this is not a complete list. There are a plethora of activists who are making critically important contributions in a variety of human endeavors, from the intellectual, political, historical, and economic realms to cultural, emotional, artistic, and literary initiatives. They are all needed, whether famous or not. They are leaving strategic blueprints, building institutions, creating literature, art, music, and providing passionate oratory with insights that are relevant as exemplars to forward movement. Truth be told, I could create an entire season illuminating the profound words, insights, and instructions to us from the legion of various individual thinkers, writers, and doers who love Black people globally. So let me leave you with some profound quotations from a number of them. These passages of wisdom should be pondered with advice to be considered towards the goal of action affirmative in our own behalf. I will start with Dr. Carter G. Woodson, historian, author, educator, scholar, activist, founder of the Association for the Study of African American Life and History, and the father of Black history, having created the celebration observed in February in 1926. His 1933 book, Miseducation of the Negro, not only explains why we are gripped in our circumstances, but also how to get out of it. Woodson begins by plainly expressing his intention to provide a detailed explanation of the mistakes in the education of the Negro. It is offered as an extensive corrective that defines and delineates the history and, most importantly, the process and purpose of miseducation. Accordingly, historical understanding is multi-layered and considers the influence that religion, economics, politics, social organizations, creative production, and psychology have on our ultimate quest for liberation. Woodson deeply understood this and wrote the following searing passage in the preface of the book. No systematic effort toward change has been possible, for taught the same economics, history, philosophy, literature, and religion which have established the present code of morals, the Negro's mind has been brought under the control of the oppressor. The problem of holding the Negro down, therefore, is easily solved. When you control a man's thinking, you do not have to control his actions. You do not have to tell him not to stand here or go yonder. He will find his proper place and will stay in it. You do not need to send him to the back door. He will go without being told. In fact, if there is no back door, he will cut one for his special benefit. His education makes it necessary. End quote. In Woodson's view, we have a serious education issue. Of course, Dr. Asa G. Hilliard said we not only have a serious education issue, we have a truth problem with education. Dr. Ivan Van Sertima brings it home and gets personal. He wrote, "We were trained to despise ourselves and all of Africa. We felt that Africans were either primitive or semi-primitive, that they had no science and made no significant contribution to civilization. We did not realize that we were looking at a looted Africa, a shattered Africa. We did not realize that there were two Africas, Africa before and after the Holocaust. The Holocausts are, of course, enslavement and colonialism." While the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. needs no introduction, his book, Where Do We Go From Here? Chaos or Community, is an absolute must-read for anyone trying to grow their consciousness. While the entire book is filled with quotable wisdom, his thoughts on self-knowledge is yet another instructional blueprint for our growth. He wrote, "The tragedy of slavery and segregation is that they instilled in the Negro a disastrous sense of his own worthlessness. To overcome this terrible feeling of being less than human, the Negro must assert for all to hear and see a majestic sense of his worth. This sense of somebodyness means the refusal to be ashamed of being black. Our children must be taught to stand tall with their heads proudly lifted." Dr. Ivan Van Sertima reinforced this idea when he said, "We are dedicated to the revision of the role of the African in the world's great civilizations, the contribution of Africa to the achievement of man in arts and sciences. We shall emphasize what Africa has given to the world, not what it has lost." And then there are the profound passages encouraging us to be proactive, to engage with the challenges before us and take bold and courageous action to meet those challenges. The quintessential freedom fighter, Frederick Douglass, told us clearly, "If there is no struggle, there is no progress. Power concedes nothing without a demand." Modern-day freedom fighter, poet, publisher, and institution builder, Dr. Haki Madhubuti, said the quiet part out loud. "Learning to take hold of one's life is very difficult in a culture that values property over life." End quote. Nevertheless, Madam C.J. Walker said, "I had to make my own living and my own opportunity." Don't sit down and wait for opportunities to come. You have to get up and make them. Renaissance man Paul Robeson said it this way: "We realize that our future lies chiefly in our own hands. To fully succeed, we must practice self-reliance, self-respect, industry, perseverance, and economy. The future will require us to know who we are and whose we are. The connections we must reknit between us as well. The connections are global and transcend nationality, which again does not serve us. Or to quote T. Thomas Fortune, we have entered and undertaken no child's play. we have undertaken a serious work which will tax and exhaust the best intelligence and energy of the race for the next century. That century is here, and the work we must do belongs to all of us. Speaking directly to the theme of connections, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, the first president of Ghana, said it plainly. We must understand that although we have among us dissimilarities, we have greater similarities. Our historical past, our culture, our common experience, and our aspirations. Connections. We are connected. Connecting and reconnecting ourselves and each other requires first an intention to do so. Once the intention has been set, the hard work to make it happen begins. Some of us have forgiveness work. Others need to put their priorities in order, especially financially. Others still must get re-energized, motivated, and inspired to set goals and work to achieve them. Dare I say, all of us need to read more and be entertained less. Proper attention to our mental and physical health is also required and necessary. Eat more fruits and vegetables. Meditate and create quiet time with nature. Exercise and consciously create a nurturing environment for yourself and your family. Our children especially need this. Once you connect with yourself, seek to connect with others in the spirit of community, respect, and consciousness. The work of resurrecting our community, sowing seeds of care, respect, and kinship, not to mention reclaiming and loving our young people, will only be done by us. As I say often, this is our inside work for the next level of outside change. Or, poetically speaking, Unapologetically Black Part 3. Let us be black with no apologies. To quote Du Bois, I believe in pride of race and lineage and self. Especially do I believe in the black race, in the beauty of its genius, the sweetness of its soul. Yes, let us deeply feel a love of blackness as a source of wisdom, ingenuity, beauty, and pride. Again, let us know who we are, our long and epic history, our wondrous culture that is deep, connecting, and life-sustaining. Again, let us understand that we are all Africans. The essence of Africa is the germinating seed of all humanity. Let us learn and embrace every drop of our glorious richness, the struggles that exhaust but strengthen, the history painful and triumphant, the culture so extraordinary it is copied worldwide. May we study history's lessons and be inspired by ancestral wisdom and exemplars established. May we rise to the challenges we have now enthusiastically, embracing our inside work for the next level of outside change. And when it's all said and done, let us quote Brother James Brown, say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. Or you can quote me and be downright African unapologetically. Hotep. I am Mwalimu Melody Mishere Van Putten, and I am dropping the knowledge. Ashe.
Truth, justice, righteousness, harmony, balance, order, reciprocity. 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 Justice, righteousness, harmony, balance, order, reciprocity.